Lethal Bo Peep, and welcome back to Galactica Realm for episode 7 of Enderfall, our modded faction series. So, let's talk, guys. I did about 2.5 hours of recording. Just, working on stuff, looking for bases, doing all that happy fun stuff, and I didn't come up with anything exciting to really show for it. I mean, I did find a base. There was like nothing in it. There was, there was not a lot going on. There was some cool stuff to see, I guess, here and there, but it didn't really feel like one of those videos where something cool's gonna happen, like a faction fight in the middle of a thunderstorm. So I thought it would be really cool if I could just show you guys what I did in the background so you wouldn't feel so lost in the next episode as to what I've been doing. And I could just kind of talk over it because I ended up getting a hold of Slack and Jack, Slack Lizard and I'm Jack Reacher, and asking them some questions that I had just to myself about the realm. And I thought some of their answers were pretty cool and pretty insightful. So I thought I would maybe share that with you guys. The first question I asked them was, how do you think that the update Aquatic's going to affect the realm? And a lot of laughter ensued. They're saying that they're horribly scared to death of what it's going to do to the realm, that it's probably going to be down for a day, maybe more, when the update finally goes live, because updates are basically just putting code into the game of Minecraft. And if Slack has already rewritten some code for mods and, they're rewriting stuff, it can all just end up, clashing together. And, if they encode all of the new blocks with new IDs, there's not going to be an issue. If they're using existing IDs for each block, there's going to be a lot of coding for Slack Lizard to do. Otherwise, all the blocks are going to look weird. Their new textures are going to look off because, they're in a 16-bit ratio and they're using a 64-bit texture pack. So there might be a few days after the update Aquatic where we're not going to be able to play while they're rewriting everything, but trust that when it finally comes back up, we're going to have all this new cool stuff with our old cool stuff for ultimate cool stuff. The second question I asked was, are there any updates coming to the realm that they wanted to kind of tease us with? And apparently there's going to be a lot of mini games coming to the realm. Sky Wars, parkour stuff, maze, bed wars. You get distinctive rewards for it. Like if you're the one that's winning, you're gonna get, a chest with a reward in it. They're talking about arenas, Nazi zombie games. All of it's going to take time, obviously. They want to get the core stuff established before they start with the mini games and stuff like that. And they're also saying that if you're finding bugs or, anything like that, that they depend on us reporting those to them and giving them feedback as to what's working and what's not. It just kind of helps them have extra eyes and ears around the realm, and it's helpful for them. So if you want to keep seeing the realm heading in this awesome direction that it's heading, try to report more stuff or give them feedback. Anything that's going to help them out in the long run is going to help us out in the long run. So make sure that if you're seeing any of that cool stuff or bad stuff happening, that you're trying, using your judgment. They don't need 4,000 messages a day, but still, reporting stuff and feedback, it's kind of a must. So the third thing that I asked them is what they were most excited about with the realm. And they basically said that any new command is exciting. They were pretty excited about figuring out how to not use villagers for the trades. That was a big thing because the realm cycles. That's why we end up getting booted out of it a lot. And when it's cycling, certain entities despawn. So they had to keep spare villagers on the side, and it was just this big mess. So they said that was a really nice one. And they were also really excited about the command that keeps them in creative, even if there's other people around them. Hacker jail. If you've never been to hacker jail, I wouldn't say that you need to hack to get there, but maybe if, it's just you and them on and, nothing's really happening, you can be like, hey, you should let me try out hacker jail. They said it was really fun to create, and I've actually seen hacker jail. It is not fun to be in. It made me so nauseous. I actually took my headset off and looked away from the screen until they got me out of hacker jail because it was so terrible. The next thing I asked was, why name it Galactica Realm? Why not something else? And basically their response is, we're nerds and we love Battlestar Galactica. And I also love Battlestar Galactica. If you've never seen it, it probably came out in the early 2000s, but there was an original one that came out I think in the 70s. But the 2000 one is actually really awesome, and you should totally check it out. If you've never seen it, you need to go check it out. The next question was, are there any new mods on the horizon? And this one is probably the one I'm most excited about. They said yes, and they found out they can add in about 300 new items to the game that are actually items. Shields, swords, amulets, jewelry. Each of them provides their own effects, like totems of fire resistance and etc. So that's really exciting that we could see 300 new items coming to the game soon. That's mind-blowing. I asked, why not have enchanted gear and having effects kits instead? They said they're thinking about it. They're making an arena where you're gonna have specific kits in like the lobby, like Juggernaut or Scout, just like we kind of have the effect kits like that. But these will have specific effects that go along with them that only last during the arena. As for regular kits, they're not sure. Like a kit you would see on like Super Shifter's Realm. He's got, kits all the time, kits everywhere. You open a chest, you're buying a specific kit. It's got the armor, it's got weapons with certain enchantments and stuff on them. I kind of like it the way that it is because you kind of get to pick and choose what you want on your kits, or on your armor and your weapons and stuff, and I think that's nice. You kind of have to do it yourself. The next question that I asked was, do you expect to add in more trades over time? And that was all the time. The only thing that they're worried about is they don't want to sell something that you're able to duplicate easily. Duplicating is a problem they're trying to keep away from. That's why, ores and stuff aren't the form of currency, because it's really easy to duplicate those if you know what you're doing. Even if you don't know what you're doing, it can be pretty easy to do it. So they're trying to make it to where you don't have to, you have a bunch of new trades and cool stuff like that, but nothing that you can duplicate that gets you a lot of money. So they have to take their time with that and figure out, what's what and things like that. So I asked them, what command has proven to be the hardest one to perfect? They said the adventure radius was hard and it took forever. So when you're next to spawn and there's like a radius around it where you're in adventure mode before you finally hit out of survival mode. They said that one was definitely the hardest one to do. They had to build, a wall around it, and then it was actually pretty scary, I guess, for Jack when Slack Lizard was implementing the new way that they're doing it. Because I guess he was just a nervous wreck, worried that it was just going to fail and everybody was going to be in survival and the purge would ensue. This is actually their third version of it. The first one was a hard fail. They actually quit the realm. They shut it down just from fury alone. They spent probably 3 days to build like a spawn hub. They ghosted people all day. They were watching, what they were doing, seeing if there's any way people could kind of mess it up. They thought they had it protected. They went to do other things. They got back on, and spawn was just decimated. So Jack brought it down, loaded the mods onto a map, and then they just wasn't going to give him anything else. No protection. It finally kind of got out of hand. Nobody could really get anywhere from it. So, he added in like a little bedrock shelter where, you could kind of be sheltered for a minute before you went out. But slowly, one by one, they just started adding other things in. Ended up being very trial and error, but they finally got it to this one, and they're only using about 20 command blocks to protect spawn, as opposed to the 200 command blocks that was in PvP 1 that I actually did play on that realm, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, they're learning all the time, and there's not actually commands like lines of command to write or to copy from, I guess. So Slack Lizard's kind of just testing things out and trying to figure it all out by himself. And that alone means, so much, knowing that, it's been 3 weeks basically, and they've come up with as much as they have. That's something right there. I asked, and this is something that a couple people have been wondering, is do you think they'll add other villagers in with normal trades? And of course, they kind of answered that one earlier, where they were like, the realm cycle ends up complicating things and despawning entities and so on and so forth. If the servers didn't go down so much, it wouldn't be a problem, but no, they're not going to end up adding villagers in. So, bummer, but, what can you do? I asked, books. They added a new faction area in and the new command block area in, which I believe that you end up seeing somewhere in this video. But you have to use books to put in the information that you want, the type of command block you want, for who, what area, things like that. So they are going to be adding books in that you can purchase. And they're either going to be for free or for like very little, so it'd be easy to purchase them. So if you haven't been to the command block area in the shop, you should totally go check it out, because they have a lot of good base protection and stuff there. So definitely make sure you're checking that out. I asked them what they were most excited about, what they liked about the realm the most. And it was actually pretty cool. I think their answers were kind of interesting. They say they get enjoyment out of seeing, Jack said he gets enjoyment out of seeing people play. When he sees somebody enjoying it and they stay and they're trying and they're building nice things, they like that. And Slack Lizard says he just enjoys watching people enjoy something that he created, which I get that. I think being a creative person definitely gives you that thrill watching somebody enjoy something that you made. So this is pretty cool. A little insight into them, I guess. Ooh, this next question was really exciting for me. I've been dying to know the answer to it. Are there any dungeons or structures that you're expecting to eventually add in? Listen up, guys. Do not click off of this video right now. You're gonna freak out. So yes, they're definitely adding in something called tombs. Basically, you can find them randomly around the world. They're probably going to be added into like quests that are going to come later. There's a coffin in the middle of the room. You go in, there's going to be traps and stuff. You have to open it a certain way, and a boss is going to spawn in, and you have to fight it, and then you'll get awesome items that you can't usually get in the game otherwise. So that's mind-blowing, just that we're going to be able to find like new stuff underground, or halfway sunken in. It's like brand new stuff to look for, brand new stuff to explore. Slack said that he wants to make auto respawning loot temples that are constantly moving with awesome stuff inside of it. So once spawn gets established, they're going to start changing things basically from spawn outwards and adding in all these extras and these cool new things that we can explore. And that's a big thing I've wanted in Minecraft for a long time, is new structures to explore, new things to be on the lookout for. And I think boss tombs and, loot temples, that's definitely a great place to start. I asked, will any new mobs be added? And they said obviously there's going to be boss mobs that they're adding in for the tombs. The problem is they don't want them to spawn in by themselves, so that you kind of have to summon them in to get them. So, it's going to be a little bit of time before we start seeing that stuff. Again, they want to get spawn established in. But command blocks can add in high attributed mobs to fight. And they say this, if they get scoreboards, which is something that's actually in, I believe, Java version. That's pretty much going to be sky's the limit right there. Slack also said that new dimensions should be coming eventually. They can make custom biomes, custom mobs, so you'll go through a portal or something and it's going to feel like you're in a whole different dimension. They also want to do certain boss arenas, which, all this stuff sounds really exciting. And I know that listening to me drone on while you're watching a time-lapse video is probably not what you were hoping to see today, but the answers they gave I thought was pretty insightful and interesting, especially if you've been with the realm, as long as, this is technically the second realm of theirs, and I know people have been on more than that. So just having things to look forward to is really exciting, in my opinion. I asked them, when do you expect to add in the nether or end areas? Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but you can't actually get into that at all. You can't light the flint or anything like that to get the nether working. I think even if you did find the end portal, I don't know that the end portal itself is even there, or that you'd be able to open it. So they said to that probably when they add in the mini games, they're going to be making the end and the nether available, because they're thinking of putting some of the mini games in the nether. They'd like to make another transport system, though, to make it like really easy to travel in, and they can't let people build their own nether portals, so that's a big thing that they're trying to work around, because those nether portals that other people build can mess up everything, so they have to have control of it, and that's going to take a bit of work around to do. Slack Lizard says, he just needs a day to do it. If a realm gets above 1 gig, it's basically going to crash it continuously, so that's why they have the world stopper. You can't go out more than, I think it's like 4,000 blocks before it'll send you straight back to spawn, because they have to keep the chunks down, and if you're going so many thousands of chunks out, it's loaded in the save file, and basically that's just going to crash the game over and over. So a boundary has to be made for the nether and the end, in the same way that it's happening in the overworld, and the command blocks in the overworld also affect the nether and the end in the same corresponding location. So they have to have a nether hub that people can use so it stays like it needs to be. But it will be opening, and hopefully with the mini games, which I believe is the next big project that they're working on, so that's really exciting to know. I asked if they were ever going to do any kind of donator perks or kits. And I guess it's something that they go back and forth on. They don't want people to feel like they have something to lord over other people's heads, The money aspect would end up coming if they ever became a partied server. Jack says he roots for the underdog. He doesn't want privileged people to be able to come in and do whatever they want because they have money. And Slack says, you're going to be violating terms of service a lot if you're if you sell a sharpness 25 sword, someone else has to be able to get that item legitly. You can't sell items that people couldn't normally get, or I guess not normally, but if you sell it, you have to be able to get it legitly as well, or you're violating the terms of service with Mojang or Microsoft or whoever, and you can't do that. So it really comes down to them wanting to be partied server, and that's when the money will come. They're not really looking to add donator perks in any way. You can always contact them and just donate without getting anything in return. I mean, they obviously didn't tell me that I could say that, but I'm gonna say it anyways because they do work really hard on it, and it's something that we all enjoy. So even a couple bucks here and there, they probably have PayPals or something that you could check out. So just if that's something you're interested in, you can always get a hold of them and ask. I said, do you think that there will ever be a Galactica PvP 3? Because technically this is Galactica PvP 2. I played on PvP 1 and it was a lot of fun. The second one's just gone above and beyond. So, I was interested, are they going to keep working on this? Is there, what's going to happen? And they said that they think that there will be. There will probably be a 3, a 4, or 5. They want to do, they want to keep the one that's up now, obviously, but they also want to almost copy and paste the world into another realm and then kind of add on or take away. They want to do a space-themed one where the spawn's like a spaceship and you can teleport down to the surface and play mini games and fight mobs and space battles, but I guess they have some big plans, so you can always look forward to more realms coming out for them. I also asked, when we're talking about realms, do you ever plan on doing an SMP realm with mods in it, like a survival multiplayer? I don't know if you guys watch any of the YouTubers that do that, like, Joey Graceffa, LD Shadow, Lady Stacy Plays. They do, SMP realms all the time with mods in it, and they said, yeah, it's totally doable. It's not as popular as the faction realms, so that would have to be something that, a bunch of people were really committed to doing before they would be willing to do that. So there's that. And then I asked them, just to irritate them, I said, is there anything you'd like to add in that you don't think would be doable? And yes, is always going to be the answer to that. They said there's a lot of stuff in the coding that they're trying to figure out. Apparently you can travel from realm to realm. If you've ever been in any of the minigame servers that are available, you know, as soon as you log in, you can do the minigames. Apparently in the coding, you can move from realm to realm like that. Like you could go to a Galactica hub, hit a button, and you're in the factions part of it. Or come back out, hit a button, you're in the SMP part of it, or the minigames part of it. So, I mean, it's in the coding, it's just them figuring out if they would be able to do it, I guess, in the long run. And I guess a leaderboard command would also be amazing. You know, you could implement invisible name tags, join factions that way, give different players levels of trust and permissions, and that's pretty exciting too. But, you know, that's something I think would be way off in the future. I asked each of them separately, what did you want to do with the server? What's the long term here? And Jack said he just likes hanging out and playing, especially with Slack. Beyond that, he'd like for it to be a partied server, obviously, where they can have like a ton of admins and stuff. He doesn't even want to get paid for it. He just thinks it would be a challenge and it would be fun. Slack also said partied servers and even a secondary realm option where you can have more players online, more dedication to the realm, things like that. So I think that there's a lot to come, definitely, when it comes long term like this. So definitely stick with Galactica Realm, stick with I'm Jack Reacher and Slack Lizard. There's going to be a lot coming in the future. So if you liked the video, I know it's probably not what you were expecting, but if you liked the video, make sure you like it. If you have any comment that you would want Slack or Jack to answer, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. And if you do, make sure you subscribe, check out the other videos. I will see you guys in the next episode.